AITA for telling my late fiance's dad that I will call the police when he took the engagement ring. My fiancée passed away last March from infection. She was dealing with organ failure and was becoming weaker. She was 25 and I'm 30. I proposed to her at the hospital because the longer I waited the worse her condition got, and we were only engaged for a few days. She went into a coma and passed away. I was devastated and mad. I was mad at everyone and had so much anger and grief that I was too weak to deal with. I just couldn't deal with fact that I had no choice but to start to learn to live without her. It was incredibly hard phase and I'm still learning to adapt, but I have some of her stuff that bring me comfort and a bit of joy. This is my first Christmas without her and I wanted to do what I did every year and buy her a nice gift. But I don't know where to take it, frankly. Lately her dad has been contacting me, wanted to come and take some of my fiance's stuff, even though he already took what he wanted. I told him to wait for me till I get home, but he must have had the spare key that my fiancé had. It's my apartment and he never returned it to me. In 2 hours he called me and said that he already sorted through her stuff and took what he needed. I was pretty pissed at this point because there's stuff that are sentimental to me and I had no idea what he took. I got home and I found that among the stuff he took was my fiancé's engagement ring. The reason I knew he took it is that the ring was in my closet, not with her things. The way my clothes were scattered was an indicator he had no business going through my things and taking it. I called him several times but only his wife, fiancé's stepmom, responded. He called me back at 11 p.m. and I asked him if he took the ring I proposed to my late fiancé with. He avoided the question, then said that he indeed took it. I lost it. I told him he had no right to even be in my bedroom and take something that belongs to me. He corrected me saying the ring was on his daughter's finger before she passed away, therefore it was hers and he gets to keep it. I argued with him and told him I paid for the ring, and also and more importantly is that this ring belongs with me since it's a symbol of my relationship with my fiancé and I just can't let go of it like that. He reminded me that I'm not her husband and that from now on he doesn't have to deal with me. I got so mad at him I told him he has 2 days to bring it back or I'll call the cops. He hung up after calling me names. Family and close friends heard from him and said I was out of my mind to call the police on my late fiancé's father no matter the reason. They didn't let me explain and said that my pain and grief are nothing compared to a parent losing their child. They've all called me pathetic and attention seeking, God knows what. But I insisted and told them that I'll do it. I'm so sorry for your loss. TA. What he did was burglary. He entered your home without your permission and removed property that didn't belong to him. It doesn't matter that she was his daughter, that doesn't give him any rights to her property. When an engagement ends in anything other than marriage, it's customary for the ring to be returned. There are a lot of people who feel that an engagement ring is a gift and shouldn't be returned, but it's a symbol of an exchange between a couple, and nobody outside that couple gets a say. Also, change your locks, if you haven't already. NTA. Call the cops. He's broken into a private home where he has no permission to be. Key or no key, rifled through your things and stolen from you. Your friends and family suck. Sorry for your loss. NTA. Sorry sounds like he's probably going to sell it. I can't see why he would take it otherwise. This was my thought too. I know that kids sometimes keep their parents' engagement/wedding ring out of sentimental value, but I've never heard of a parent wanting to keep their child's engagement ring. NTA. And he still has your key. Yes he does. And I don't know if he made other copies. I thought I had the key returned after the funeral, but I was too tired and didn't know for sure. Maybe he made another copy, I really don't know. AITA for saying the same jokes my Phil uses to give him a piece of his own medicine. My Phil humor can be quite cruel at times. He always seems to take jokes way too far or will make jokes about people's appearances, like calling people Dumbo ears, or poking jokes at their size/weight. It's not a good time and many people have tried to get him to stop, but he thinks that he is being hilarious and it's all in good fun. So this happened at the New Year's get together with the family. He started doing the jokes and everyone just trying to get through the night. Well, He got to me and I wasn't having it tonight. He made one joke about my nose, so I started to lay into him using his jokes. I used most of his weight jokes, poked fun at his beer belly, used the jokes about Dumbo ears and hooked noses. I used as many as I could remember. He was quite upset about it in the end, and I told him this is how all of us feel every time you make these jokes. Today I got a text from my mill and Sil that I took it too far and that I'm an ass. So AITA. NTA. He deserved it. Jokes that amount to I'm going to entertain myself by intentionally making other people feel like shit are terrible jokes. NTA. Of course you got a text from them. They have to put up with him complaining about it, lol. NTA. As we say in Brazil, if you don't want to play, then don't go to the playground. Edit. Loving to learn all these sayings. NTA. People hate it when you confront them with their double standards. First you tried to teach him the easy way, now he's learned the hard way not to dish it out if he can't take it. Edit. Holy cow, my karma doubled overnight and my award count quadrupled. Thank you, kind strangers. AITA for naming my child Sadako. I am going to keep this pretty short, because I don't know how to feel about this. From the ages of 7 to 12 I was really sick. One of the nurses who took care of me was Japanese. She would bring books for us to read and taught us how to fold origami. She ended up bringing me a book called Sadako and the 1,000 Paper Cranes. There is a Japanese legend that if you fold 1,000 cranes you will have a wish granted. I never made it to 1,000 cranes, but the book really changed my life. We had our little girl in March 2020 and it was a hard time. I told my husband about the book and how I wanted to name a little girl Sadako since I was a kid. He agreed. I asked him several times if he was only allowing this because I agreed a son would be a junior. He said no. He was happy the nurse made such an impact on my life that I wanted our child to have the name. We call her Sadie for short. My family hates it and has told me they think I made a mistake choosing that name. They were also upset I would use my husband's name, Jesus, if the baby was a boy. They are furious I picked non-American names for my child. The middle name we picked was Araceli. I think the name suits Sadie and I don't think I was an asshole for naming her. My husband has suggested that we keep the peace by switching the order of the names Araceli Sadako, but it feels like a whole different child that way. If my child says, I hate my name, then we would change it. But both names picked have a special meaning. I feel like the nurse and the book changed the way I viewed the world. And Araceli is the name of my husband's sister who passed away. I will say the people who have an issue are my family members, minus my sister, who named her baby Meadow, which everyone hated as well. My in-laws have said they think the name is fine, as they feel a baby name is not important enough to cause arguments about it. NTA. But I feel I would be remiss if I didn't point out, Sadako is the name of the ghost from the Ring franchise. That's literally the first thing I thought of when I read the name of your post. Consider whether the place you live might mean that makes your daughter a target for bullies in future. I mean TBH. I am a bit uncomfortable with it. BC I grew up getting made fun of for being Japanese and having a not normal, not westernized, name, but I mean, is your daughter, and TBH it's too late to really do anything about it. Can't put toothpaste back in the tube. Just know the name will have social consequences for her and you down the line. The fact you're getting this kind of reaction from your family isn't going to be the end of it. NTA. It's actually quite sweet, the story behind your child's name, and it's quite common for people to have middle names of family members who have passed as a way of remembrance. Mine are the names of my uncle and my paternal grandfather. Also Sadako, Sadie, Araceli and Jesus are all really nice names, so if you're both happy with them then fuck what your family thinks. And if they start to get to you, just remember this quote from Romeo and Juliet. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Names are just a system of identifying people. It doesn't matter what they're called since it doesn't change their character. I just find it upsetting because my mom gave us really terrible 80s names that my grandma said she hated. So maybe it's a family tradition not to like the names people give their kids. You can name your kid whatever you want, that's your right as a parent. But man, I can already imagine all the "Are you Japanese?" questions they will be asked, and the crazy looks the kid will get when they say no. I feel like it'll be worse if they explain they were named after a ghost or bombing victim, but who knows. But names are important. My name doesn't align with my culture, and honestly I still borderline hate it because it makes me stick out like a sore thumb. People always raise their eyebrows when they hear it, and it's frustrating as f. Don't feel like it matches me at all, and my mom still feels it's about a day I fucked up a name. I go by a nickname now unless it's for a job. If I had the money I would switch it legally. Edit. After reading some of the replies and reflecting on my own experiences, others' experiences, and reading the other comments, I've changed my decision. Your child will have to live with the name and have to handle the brunt of the uncomfortable experiences that it will cause.